Buying a brand new electric vehicle should feel exciting, not exhausting. Unfortunately, some of the most hyped EVs on the market in 2026 are letting owners down within days or weeks of driving off the lot. From blank screens and dead batteries to software meltdowns and months-long waits for repairs, these 9 electric cars have generated the highest levels of immediate buyer regret this year. Number 9. Cadillac Lyriq. The Cadillac Lyriq looks like a triumph of American luxury on paper, starting at $59,000 with up to 326 miles of EPA estimated range and a whisper-quiet cabin wrapped in premium materials that genuinely rival anything from Germany. The problem is that the ownership experience often unravels within the first week. Edmunds consumer reviews tell a brutal story, with one owner reporting that just 2 hours after taking delivery, plugging in a USB-C cable caused the entire infotainment display to crash so severely that the vehicle became undrivable. The screen did not recover until the following day, and Cadillac had no immediate fix available. Kelley Blue Book reviews echo the frustration, with owners reporting that the driver assist software is unreliable and regularly fails or goes out of service entirely, leaving adaptive cruise control and emergency collision avoidance systems inoperative without warning. GM Authority has documented a running list of known infotainment bugs affecting 2024 through 2026 Lyriqs, including HVAC controls disappearing from the center display, fan speed becoming uncontrollable, and the head-up display randomly going dark during drives. Owners have also complained about persistent interior creaks and rattles from the center console, regenerative braking that feels either non-existent in standard mode or dangerously aggressive in its strongest setting, doors that slam shut unpredictably because they only hold position at 2 fixed points, and the baffling decision to require the infotainment screen to open the glove box. For a vehicle that costs over $60,000, these immediate failures feel inexcusable. Number 8. Kia EV9. The Kia EV9 arrived as one of the most compelling 3-row electric SUVs ever built, offering a spacious, family-friendly cabin with bold design and the convenience of ultra-fast 800-volt charging architecture. Within months of ownership, however, a growing number of buyers are discovering that this flagship Kia can fail in the most alarming way possible. A May 2026 investigation by CarScoops documented EV9 owners reporting dead battery modules that caused the vehicle's displayed charge to jump erratically from 82% to 100%, while actual usable capacity plummets dramatically. One owner's 99 kilowatt-hour battery pack was only holding 71 kilowatt-hours due to multiple dead modules, and another saw range collapse to just 30 miles. The worst part is that replacement battery packs can take months to arrive, leaving owners stranded without transportation for extended periods while waiting under Kia's warranty program. The integrated charging control unit remains another persistent early failure point, with Consumer Reports data showing that between 2 and 10% of Hyundai and Kia EV owners have experienced ICCU-related issues. An ICCU failure can disable AC charging entirely and strand drivers without warning. NHTSA data from VinItal shows 20 complaints filed against the 2026 EV9, with electrical system faults leading the list. Owners who expected a worry-free family hauler are instead dealing with catastrophic failures that no amount of warranty coverage can fully compensate for when you need your vehicle every single day. Number 7. Genesis GV60. The Genesis GV60 delivers a genuinely luxurious interior, sharp acceleration, and the reassurance of a 10-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty that signals long-term confidence from the manufacturer. What it does not deliver, according to a troubling number of early owners, is a trouble-free first few months. The most widespread immediate failure involves the infotainment and instrument cluster screens, which can flicker, go completely black, or reboot without warning while driving. Genesis issued a large recall for 2025 and 2026 models to address a software logic error responsible for these display failures, and owners report that the problem can strip away access to speed, battery status, and critical warning indicators simultaneously. The 12-volt battery system is another source of early heartbreak, with multiple owners describing scenarios where a nearly new GV60 refuses to unlock or power on despite a healthy main battery pack, requiring a physical key entry and a jump start to get moving again. In cold climates, several owners have reported complete loss of cabin heat within weeks of ownership due to heat pump failures, with some enduring multi-week dealer visits while waiting for backordered HVAC compressor components. Edmunds reviewers note recurring technology glitches and the absence of wireless phone connectivity. The Genesis dealer service network itself generates its own category of complaints, with owners reporting being bounced between locations, long parts delays, and vehicles returned from repair with issues only partially addressed. The GV60's fundamentals are sound, but the ownership experience has too many early stumbling blocks. Number 6. Audi Q4 e-tron. The Audi Q4 e-tron brings the 4-ring badge, a refined cabin, and a quiet, comfortable driving experience to the compact electric crossover segment, and Consumer Reports calls it easy to drive and live with on a daily basis. The reality for many early owners, however, tells a different story. One Edmunds reviewer titled their post, "Failed within 28 hours. Electrical system," describing a complete electrical shutdown within a day of taking delivery. Other Edmunds reviewers highlight a consistent theme of great Audi design paired with poor software support that undermines daily usability. Consumer Reports expects the 2026 Q4 e-tron to be less reliable than the average new car, a damning prediction for a premium vehicle. The software and infotainment system is the primary source of immediate regret, with owners reporting slow boot times, frozen screens, random reboots, and an MMI interface that forgets radio presets and driver profiles after updates. The My Audi app connectivity is widely described as unreliable, with vehicles frequently showing as offline and remote preconditioning failing to trigger. Facebook groups document owners experiencing sudden power failures in freezing temperatures that left them stranded. Charging problems surface quickly as well, including intermittent fault messages when plugging into level 2 stations, home charging cables that overheat under sustained load, and DC fast charging sessions that taper aggressively or abort entirely on certain networks. The Q4 e-tron's drivetrain is reasonably solid, but the digital layer surrounding it consistently disappoints buyers who expected Audi-level polish from day one. Number 5. Honda Prologue. The Honda Prologue carried enormous expectations into the market, backed by decades of Honda reliability and built on General Motors' Ultium platform, offering a spacious, well-priced electric SUV from a brand that millions of Americans trust implicitly. The immediate ownership experience, however, has been a painful wake-up call. The most devastating problem is a software defect in the radio control module that causes both the center infotainment screen and the instrument cluster to go completely blank while driving. What makes this failure especially maddening is that owners report screens going blank again even after the recall software update has been applied, meaning the fix itself is not fully resolving the problem. Reddit posts describe new Prologues with barely 500 kilometers on the odometer experiencing brake assist failure, brake system failure, all-wheel drive failure, and stably track service warnings simultaneously. NHTSA complaint data shows issues with the forward collision avoidance system and adaptive cruise control behaving erratically on 2026 models. Torque News published an owner's account describing frustration with charging that fails overnight, terrible weather stripping, and a vehicle that feels more like a GM product than a Honda. For buyers who chose the Prologue specifically because of Honda's reputation, these immediate and recurring failures represent a profound betrayal of brand trust. Number 4. GMC Hummer EV. The GMC Hummer EV is an engineering spectacle that weighs over 9,000 pounds, starts at $97,000, and delivers jaw-dropping acceleration with up to 1,000 horsepower in its most powerful configuration. When everything works, nothing else on the road feels quite like it. The problem is that when things go wrong, they go catastrophically wrong, and they do so with alarming frequency for a vehicle at this price point. Consumer Reports has recorded 2 NHTSA recalls for the 2026 Hummer EV, including one for 354 units, where a defective wire harness may prevent the passenger airbag from deploying. A separate recall addresses high-voltage battery pack enclosures that may not be properly sealed, allowing water to enter the pack. Owners on Facebook report software glitches, concerns about battery lifetime, and real-world range that falls dramatically short of the EPA estimate when driving at highway speeds or in cold weather. The Hummer EV's extreme weight creates additional issues, including accelerated tire where that leads to expensive replacements, suspension components that endure unusual stress, and energy consumption that makes the truck one of the least efficient EVs on sale. When your $100,000 electric truck spends more time on a flatbed than in your driveway, the regret is immediate and absolute. Number 3. Volkswagen ID.4. The Volkswagen ID.4 promised to be a practical, affordable electric crossover for everyday families, and its comfortable ride, spacious cabin, and competitive pricing have attracted hundreds of thousands of buyers worldwide. Unfortunately, 2026 has brought no relief from the complaint patterns that have plagued this model since launch. The most alarming issue is a series of high-voltage battery recalls, including NHTSA campaign covering 670 vehicles identified as high-risk units where internal cell defects or coolant leaks could lead to a thermal event and fire. Day-to-day charging complaints are pervasive, with owners describing vehicles that refuse to initiate DC fast charging sessions, charge ports that lock up or throw error codes, and home level 2 sessions that stop randomly without explanation. The infotainment system continues to frustrate from the moment owners first interact with it, delivering laggy touchscreen responses, random reboots, phantom warning lights, and unreliable mobile app connectivity where remote climate control and charge status features fail regularly. An electronic door latch recall covers many 2021 through 2024 models for doors that could potentially unlatch during driving. The 12-volt battery system remains a chronic weak point, with early models prone to failures that render the car completely unresponsive even when the main battery is fully charged. Independent reliability scores place the ID.4 well below average for the EV segment, and its resale value reflects that troubled reputation. Buyers looking for a worry-free electric crossover are often finding anything but. Number 2. Chevrolet Blazer EV. The Chevrolet Blazer EV was supposed to be General Motors' mainstream answer to the Tesla Model Y, combining Ultium platform technology with bold SUV styling and competitive pricing to bring electric driving to the masses. Instead, it has become one of the most troubled EV launches in recent memory. GM paused sales entirely in December 2023 after early owners and reviewers reported severe software bugs, including frozen infotainment screens, persistent error messages, and failures at DC fast charging stations. Sales resumed in March 2024 after a comprehensive dealer-installed software update, but owner forums and review sites confirm that software instability has not been fully resolved. Kelley Blue Book consumer reviews for the 2026 model describe ongoing screen freezes, auto hold malfunctions that worsen over time, and an infotainment system requiring frequent reboots to function. A large-scale recall affecting over 40,000 units of 2024 and 2025, Blazer EVs addresses a rear parking brake wiring harness that could corrode or flex to the point of failure, potentially causing the parking brake to activate unexpectedly while driving or fail to engage when parked. A follow-up recall in February 2026 revealed that some vehicles that already underwent the first repair received an incorrect chassis harness due to a cataloging error, meaning the original safety issue was never actually fixed. Consumer Reports notes below-average predicted reliability for the 2026 model year. A separate customer satisfaction program addresses drive motor power distribution control module issues on select models. The Blazer EV's combination of a botched launch, multiple overlapping recalls, and persistent daily software failures makes buyer regret almost inevitable. Number 1. Polestar 3. The Polestar 3 starts at $68,000 and promises to be a stunning Scandinavian luxury SUV with up to 350 miles of EPA estimated range, a powerful dual-motor drivetrain, and cutting-edge software-defined vehicle architecture that should enable constant improvement through over-the-air updates. The driving experience is genuinely exceptional, with Inside EVs calling it one of the best driving SUVs in its class. The problem is that nearly everything surrounding the driving experience fails to meet even basic expectations, and it does so from the very first day. Over a year after launch, 8 of the 12 buttons on the steering wheel do essentially nothing, meaning owners of a vehicle costing upward of $93,000 cannot adjust their music volume or skip a track using the steering wheel controls. Polestar has admitted that this functionality will not arrive until the refreshed 2027 model, an extraordinary timeline for what should be a fundamental feature. The window controls use a bewildering toggle system that replaced standard 4-window switches to save pennies, forcing drivers through a multi-step process just to lower all 4 windows. Adjusting the temperature requires tapping the screen to open a submenu and then hitting tiny plus and minus buttons, pulling eyes off the road long enough to trigger the vehicle's own aggressive driver monitoring alerts. Motor Trend judges who evaluated the Polestar 3 for SUV of the Year complained consistently about the unlabeled steering wheel controls, wonky interface, and incomplete software. When you pay luxury prices and receive a vehicle that feels unfinished, regret is not just likely, it is guaranteed. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.